Welcome to Drawing with the Rig, and today my spider senses are tingling because today we are drawing Spider-Man in the iron spider suit that he wore in the Infinity War. So we're starting right out with, as usual, with a construction drawing. That is kind of like a glass mannequin, which is using spheres and cylinders to put it all together. Actually, let me just go ahead and do a quick gesture drawing to help me out here. Gesture drawings obviously just get the pose down. Just kind of like, okay, this is what he's doing. Alright. The cylinder helps us connect the pieces and make the shapes that make up the figure connect. So this is just gesture. This is just... So okay, so I kind of got what he's doing. I definitely adore the character Spider-Man, so I'm having an absolute ball. Alright, now cylinders. Now I'm going with actually making the figure, okay. I actually like the head lower. It's this sort of flexibility that this simple drawing gives you the ability to go, I'm not sure about the actual pose. There's some things I want to change, and if you go into detail really quick, you know, it's tougher to change. Okay, central line. Okay. The areas that need to connect, like the legs to the pelvis, and how it works with this sort of setup. So I guess I'm pretty much into the cylinder area. I've done this so many times I really don't know when I go from one thing to another, but for anyone who wants to know how to draw this technique is an animation technique, it's a CGI technique. Let's see. See, he's a kid, so it's like I got a bigger head. Bigger head. Spider-Man's a teenager. Rib cage. Also, with this process, I go through. Okay, here's the pelvis, and so the I think it's the femur would connect to the pelvis around here. These lines right here, if you don't know, are those things that are saying, okay, this part of the thigh is coming towards you. This part of the thigh is coming towards you. Now, this arm is supposed to be going away from us because he's basically swinging on this web and he's getting ready to let it go. And he's shooting another one to continue the swinging process, which means this hand needs to be bigger than that one. So let's go ahead and make it bigger than that one. Now I'm making these decisions in the beginning of this. It's like easier. And if I want to erase something, I can, like right there. I think this light needs to be a little longer. That doesn't look right. Oh. Okay. Alright, that feels good. Let me just go ahead and put the eyes here. For some reason, the center of the head. For Spider-Man, I just love putting the eyes, just like goes, okay, I know who it is. That's important to me, real fast. So even without the webs and everything, we know who it is. So that's all right. So take a quick look. All right, I think that's good. Now I'm going to be drawing darker lines, so I'm just going to make these a little bit more fade. I can still see them. And then I'll go right back on with the next level of detail. If it was the Hulk, it would be really concentrating on the muscles, making that. On Spider-Man, it's the costume and his dynamic pose, which I absolutely love. So let's go ahead and let's see. Okay. All right. Nose. All right. Let's go ahead and look it on this there. Now what you're seeing me do here is just tightening up on the figure, because you already know all the details that are in the actual costume, and I want to make sure that they are on a good figure. No, I made that on too doggone big. Spider-Man's skinnier than that. Oh well. Let's actually make him not so. Yeah, arm doesn't need to be so big. That. Wrist needs to be thinner. Okay, and it comes here. So note, you're not seeing webs yet. You're not seeing the details. You're just seeing me making sure that his anatomy is correct for him. He's not Captain America. He's not the Hulk. He's Spider-Man. You need to treat him as such. Okay. And then pelvis, the pelvic arch is right here, which means area down. Buttocks down here. Oh boy, let me see if I can make sure I do this. Okay. Knee. Basic Q. Alright. You notice as I tighten up on the figure, sometimes I go outside of the lines underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like the more details you, well, at least me, that I add on, the more they kind of deviate from the original thing. Let me get into a little bit of anatomy here. Let's not do that. Okay. Calf muscle. And we already know that the costume pretty much covers up a lot of the muscle structure. But, so I don't have to go into the muscles. Contrary to characters like the Hulk, who, you know, all you see is their muscles. So you really have to know your anatomy with that. Alright. Look. Alright. Ankle. Here's the foot. When I'm drawing this boot, I'm thinking of the tarsals and the metatarsals and the phalanges. I'm thinking of all that. And the alright, let's make sure this area has to work. So like that. There we go. Alright. Blow it. This leg's wrong. So we have calf, foot. Let's pull back a bit. think that leg actually needs to go out here a little bit. Again, it's simple enough to make those decisions now. When I start putting webs on and the iron spider suit, that's a different story. So let's do it. Go back to the gesture. Okay, all right. So this is coming more towards us. Knee, patella. Okay. Alright, we're just about done. Okay. Alright. So we've decided on the anatomy. Let's get some web back here. Swinging in the city. Make it real simple. Alright, now, okay. A moment, please. I really didn't like the face. Alright, let's go into the costume. Designed by the design team at Disney. Led by Ryan Meinerding, who I mention constantly because pretty much he's the one who's responsible for these designs. I didn't do them, he did them. And he does a great job. With absolutely all due respect to Steve Ditko. Who actually designed the character in the 60s. Okay. Since this is not my design, I'm looking at a wonderful rendition of it. Make sure I stay within the bounds of the design. Truth to tell, if this was the regular costume, I'd be able to draw it with my hands tied behind my back because I've loved this character for years, and the regular costume I can do easy. But they did some relatively powerful changes with this rendition, but it's one of those things where the more things change, the more they stay the same, sort of thing. But no, I like the deviation. I like the changes because they'll go back to the original. They always do. Even Batman changed this costume in just a second. Okay. In Nightfall, some time ago. And he's back to what he was with a few changes. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, okay, looks like I only have time to jump right into the thick lines of the costume. Okay, just a moment. Check something out. Okay. can't do it in the time we have right now, but I'll be outlining these with that's the gold bits that were in the costume. Alright, now, okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Okay. These are the gold bits that they had. The details that they were not in the original design, just for the movie. How about that? Alright. So you've seen how we've gone into, detail now, which takes a lot of, precision, as it should. Okay, so let me see if I've caught everything. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and darken this in. Darken that in, that's what I meant. Alright. So, as you know, the version of this in the movie was a costume made once, and they could just use it over and over again, or it was CGI, which is made once and they can use all the details over and over again. But I'm having to make all this like now. It's kind of tough. Okay, he is made of iron, so just a moment. Okay, let's see. Alright, so what I'm going to do, you guys know Spider-Man pretty well, in that you know that he has webs around here. So I'll do that later, and I'm going to concentrate on his metallicness. So let's make a light source coming right behind him, and the rest of him is in shadow, and we'll do it in a metallic way. And then later on, in the final piece, I'll put the webs on there. Okay. And there's a lot of lines, other lines in like the blue sections here, which I'm making a little darker than the red sections. Light source here. Let's make it real dark under the chin so his face stands out. So again, what we're doing now, let's just concentrate on his metallic look. That knee doesn't look quite right. Let's go back in and make sure I get it looking good. All the details in the world doesn't matter if the anatomy and the stuff underneath just doesn't work. Yeah, this costume is actually quite gorgeous. I really, really like it. But it's just a version of the old one. Okay. 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 Subtract a little bit. Okay. I think that waist actually needs to be thinner. I'm gonna do that. And Spider-Man doesn't have love handles. There we go. Let's look here. Pull back. Whoa. Okay. Now he is shooting a web, so let's go ahead and get him shooting a web. There's a few strands of webbing going around. Okay. There we are. Okay, I don't have all of the metallic stuff I'd want. Put a few stomach muscles there, but you don't see the stomach muscles on the costume. Really. But tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and put a few of these lines that are in the blue sections. Goes around here. Second, alright. Alright. Part here. These are the bits that are part of the design that they made that, I have to, follow their lead. But the webs, I'm not worried about them. When I say the webs, I mean the webs that are in the face and in the rest of the body and everything like that. Not worried about that because I know that by heart. Let's see, is that foot okay? Okay. So that, let's right here. So that is a quick draw of Spider-Man in his Iron Spider suit. There's more to do, and I'll show you that final thing after I finish, tightening up a bit and doing the lines, which will take a little while. You don't want to watch me do that. That's like boring. But you get the basic idea. Spider-Man number 2, or part 2, is coming soon. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for coming to Drawing with the Rig.